So yesterday we had a longer video about NIO and the state of affairs, and to be honest, now in the morning they just released the new numbers of the weekly insured amount of cars for the week that ended on the 9th of July, so last Sunday. And we can see that NIO delivered 3,100 cars. Now if we go back to this chart here, we can see that last week or the week previous to that one, NIO managed to deliver 4,100 cars and then 3,200 cars. So I would say this number is barely okay. I would say it's okay, but we have to see another push next week again. If this would be less than, let's say, 2,500, I would be very worried. At 3,100 cars, I mean, I can see that in the real production, stuff happens and you cannot always commit the exact same way as you did the best week that was basically the last week. So this is the real world, and you cannot just assume that every single week they have to do better than the last week. This is not possible, but so 3,100 is okay in my opinion, but it's not convincing. So it definitely raises, because you could say that if the demand is definitely out there, at least they would show some show of consistency above 3,500-600 in my opinion. But again, we don't know. It's just one data point for 1 week. We could be here next week and they deliver 5,000 cars, and then again you're very confident. So yeah, I would say it's fairly okay. Stock price, I mean, yesterday it finished at almost 8% up, which is very good. We finally broken a few resistance levels on the technical charts, and in the pre-market it's almost 1.5% up. So I guess the market is quite confident or happy with their delivery numbers here. And one interesting point is actually look at the numbers for Tesla. 3,200 deliveries, so it's basically NIO and Tesla delivered the same amount of cars last week. And in my opinion, this is a kind of puts the numbers in a perspective, because you also have to see that again one of the competitions, XPeng 1,200 and NIO at 3,100. So it doesn't look as bad as the number itself shows. And Li Auto is just in their league of their own for the moment. And again, Li Auto is not only doing fully electrical cars, there's a lot of PHEVs, so basically hybrids, so there's that as well. But yeah, this is very important to follow up next week. So let's see where the stock goes from here today. But I think like if we manage to break $11 and hold this 11 until next week when the new numbers come out, and if we have about 4,000 or 5,000 next week, then things are really starting to look good. So this was just an update on the delivery numbers. Thank you for following, and if you want to get a bit more in-depth analysis on NIO, please watch my last video that I will link up in the video. So thank you again.